Why are you here?
I'm here for my fate.
Evenveil was originally a story based in a world that I started working on back I was in film school. And the original characters and all that stuff kind of went dormant for a little while, just because I was never able to complete the original project. So it just kind of stayed in my head for a long time, but I always wanted to come back to it and do something with it. It wasn't really until kind of the pandemic happened and we were in lockdown that I just started not just writing, but also designing and conceptualizing what some of these new environments were going to look like, which is one of my favorite parts of world building. We ended up doing a bunch of tests. We built out the environments, and then it was just Jesse in like your hoodie.
It looks amazing, but it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a few of those.
Yeah, we showed them to you beforehand. That was our biggest challenge in this, because we realized that none of these locations, none of these places that we were going to be filming were tangible spaces that we could go or build.
I'm always for like, go all in. And I thought it was the coolest concept. And also like, it was something that I had always dreamed of doing too. So I was like, to see other people want to go this like, I don't know, high fantasy, like deep warrior, like I was just like, I'm in love with this.
We have never had the luxury of being able to spend months before the shoot creating, designing all of the environments and the backplates, so that once we were on set, we had a full game plan. All the lighting placements, all of the camera moves, everything was locked in while still leaving enough room for improvisation. The lighting was going to be the most important part of selling the effect. At least what we tried to do in this was really just having the lighting match. We would have you stand up there and we would do a live composite. So we could see you in the space. That's not a new technique, that's been done a lot over the years, but the fact that we could see that in real time and make changes to the environment and to our lighting in real time was, to me, the biggest kind of leap forward in what we've done previously. We relied on a pretty wide variety of software for all the visual effects. Cinema 4D was our main program for modeling and texturing and lighting, along with using Redshift as the render engine. We heavily relied upon existing libraries like Quixel Megascans and Kitbash for their just incredible wide selection of 3D models and real-world textures. These are invaluable to us for filling out all the detail and all the environments beyond all the stuff that we had to make custom. When she picks it up, that's the only non-visual effect shot in the entire short.
Right. Okay.
When you pick it up off the ground, just like that close-up. Like,
Right.
Yay, I don't have anything to do with that shot.
I think one of the bigger challenges we had was, since we were filming in the corner of our office, dealing with the air conditioner and the cramped space and the low ceilings, trying to make sure that we could spot mic everyone and get a clean sounding voiceover, because we wanted to have it pretty intimate.
In order to get some of the shots that we did in that small space, we had to split you up into different shots, like with you and the Laliel character. We're so far apart in that temple, we couldn't actually shoot you guys that far apart. So we'd have to get your stuff done first, just looking at a wall, and then Arya would come in to shoot the reverse. But you guys were there for each other,
Right.
so you could at least hear each other or even like see each other off camera.
Get the workout. Yeah.
You worked with Vincent Furtado on some of the physicality and then a couple big stunt moves and all that. In a perfect world, we would have had a stunt version of the axe. You had to do it the real thing every time. I had been a huge fan of David Delagardelle and his work in weapons and armor making for a long time. His work is just incredible. He was the perfect guy, in my opinion, to make this axe. So I reached out, not knowing if you would be interested or if you would have the time. But as it turns out, he was actually a fan of that original story that I wrote all those years ago. Just absolute total coincidence. So thankfully he got excited about it, especially after we showed him what we needed fabricated.
I have this giant axe on my back and I can feel the weight of it. And I mean, the costume is just so amazing. Like I'm like, I am a warrior. What? I definitely liked having the full axe to it, because it made it easier to like really go there. I'm living in a fantasy novel. This is perfect. So.
Once we got going and we got our cast there, and I thought the chemistry was really good, like very quick, and everybody was game, and like I wish we could have just like kept going.
But I wanted to have more fight scenes. I wanted to have like some more cool physical stuff for you guys to do.
That was loud. Everything was composed in Bitwig, and then we finished every mix and master and sound design in Nuendo. I think what sets us apart from other fantasy kind of work is that we tried to keep it a blend of the synthetic kind of sound design-y synth stuff with the organic kind of like vocalizations. Like we wanted it to have tender vocalized organic component to it. And then also for like the darker moments, like the red veil itself needed to have or wanted to have its own voice, which we used the synthesis, which is a lot of this guy right here, which is the Deckard Stream, the CS80 emulation. So yeah, we wanted each component of the film to have its own voice. A lot of the stuff that we used in there was time-stretching organic instruments. A lot of the inside the temple scene is like super time-stretched cellos. Since there's the whole present and future vibe to it, we took a lot of the cues and started to resample them and use them in different ways. So at one point, the intro cue of the entire piece is playing in reverse over her time travel sequence. And so we're using the elements from each sequence to help build and tell more and more of its story using the sound and the sound design as like one package.
It's funny, a lot of these elements, a lot of these places like the Raven Temple or the Ramath Township or the Ceridan Wastelands, even the Red Veil itself, have been in my head for so many years now that actually finally getting them on screen, out of my head and on screen for people to see has been a huge relief.
Is it still there? The pain? The doubt?
Evenveil is only 9 minutes long, but the journey and the adventure of making it has been so fulfilling. Getting to play in this world again, to have fun with these characters, to visualize these things and expand the scope has been an absolute dream come true. And I'm so thankful to my cast and crew for making that happen.